Hey everyone, this is Jeff, Concrete the Right Way. I want to hit a quick point on floats. What type of floats? Mag floats, fiber floats, but we'll touch what they're about, what I like about them, what I prefer to use. Mag floats, they're made of magnesium. These are actually Marshalltown. This is a brand new one. Same stuff that I use, the rods are made out of. They're made out of magnesium. You can get aluminum rods, but they're quite a bit heavier. They don't quite last as long. Even the aluminum floats are a little bit heavier than the magnesium floats. And then we got fiber floats. This is my float. Marshalltown, same thing. Love this thing. I use fiber probably more than anything. The mag floats, they leave a little bit smoother finish, so on certain jobs, I'll do that. If I'm in garages, stuff like that, then I want somewhat of a smooth finish. Yeah, we're still gonna trowel it and everything, but I can do a tighter wall line with the mag. Fiber, I really like that because it's a lot faster. I can cut mud a lot quicker. I'll use it this way a lot. A lot of guys this way. I use 16-inch. Some guys use some big ones, smaller. I got some cut down that we use for walls. They'll be just a little bit smaller than 8 inches. But these fiber floats, I really like them. I probably use this 99% of the time. All my laydown, everything, I can float really fast with them. Get it to grade really good. I trust them. They do great. They last a long time. Try to keep them clean. All these marks are from scraping, margin trowel. I even take the sanding block to them. They do a lot better. Craft makes decent ones. I just prefer the Marshalltown a lot more than any of the other ones. And then, like our bowl float that we use is a magnesium bowl float. And I have the 4-foot. I even have a cut down one. I have a 3-foot. We use those for sidewalk. A lot of our city stuff requires mag finishes. We really don't do that. It's just not as fast. So we still trowel everything behind it. A lot of places do just a float and then they broom behind it and that's that. But we usually trowel behind ours. I do have a fiber bowl float that I've cut down and put a swivel handle on it. It does really good. Seals up, I think, a lot quicker. It's a little bit heavier though. So you got to watch where you're doing it because you can smash some stuff pretty easy. I think you're going to get a little more time out of a fiber. One, because when you get them, they're pretty thick. They're probably 3/8 of an inch thick. Where this magnesium, it might be 3/16, 5/16 thick. It's a little bit more than 8. So, to me, these last a little bit longer. But it's all on how you use it, how hard a concrete you're doing. If you're scrubbing concrete all the time, you're going to go through your floats pretty quick. One, you don't want to be scrubbing concrete all the time because that's a lot of hard work. So, I'd have to say the fiber floats last a little bit longer for me, which works out. I'm happy with them. I prefer the fiber for laydown and for finishing. I think it takes out kneeboard marks a lot better. The mag doesn't get out kneeboard marks quite as good. I think you can do a lot better with the fiber, getting out kneeboard marks, lines, any of that stuff. Like I said, I can lay down a lot faster with it. I can cut concrete, curb and gutter. I do the pan mostly. I don't quite do the top, and I can move pretty fast in the pan. And I like it because we usually use 2x6. We go underneath that 2x6 to get our full 6 inches. Got to go under it a 1/2 inch. These are a little thicker when they're new. Well, that 1/2 inch is easy to cut underneath that board, so you know you're right to grade, especially in places that only have 0.2, 0.3 fall, and it's real critical. You got to be right on the money. So I really like the fiber float for that reason. Stuff that I would choose for mag is I really like it in a garage. If I'm laying down a garage, it lays it down a lot smoother. Usually fiber, I have to margin trowel the wall lines. Mag, I don't. I can just float that and clean it up. It'll seal it up really nice. It does a lot better on that seal up purpose, but it's a little bit slower, especially if the mud's stiffer. If the mud's wet, the mag, it cruises pretty good. You can move with it. A lot of mistakes new people make, I believe, apprentices, all that. They're brand new. They don't know what they're doing. They get brand new tools. All you experienced guys know, brand new tools are a little harder to break in. You got a little experience. breaking them in. Even these, when they're brand new, I'll take a grinder and kind of round the edges just a little bit. When they're brand new, you kind of cut a lot and everything. So new guys, all they have is brand new tools. They think they're really bad, but if you give them tools that are broken in a little bit, those new guys will do a little bit better, I feel. The new stuff, new edgers, new trowels, or leaving lines. You got to set the trowel, stuff like that. The edges are real sharp on all that new stuff. So when you got the older stuff, it works better. So maybe try giving those apprentices a little bit wore out tools. Yeah, they might think, oh, these tools are old and stuff, but every good finisher knows you have stuff broke in, man, it's a lot better to use. When you're floating stuff, a lot of guys do it when they're floating an edge. They'll be floating up at an angle, and all they're worried about is this. But you got to make sure this whole thing is flat, because when you're rodding, you want to be as close to the edge. But if you do come out a little bit and it's angled up because you floated it at a bad angle, that changes your elevation, or you're down too much. A lot of new guys will be floating thinking they're doing it flat, and they're at an extreme angle and don't even realize it, because usually you're bent upside down, leaning over, thinking you're flat. And it takes a little while to get used to floating flat, floating at the elevation. If you're doing an approach, it's supposed to be at an angle, and then those guys float flat, and then you cut out a whole bunch of mud when you rod that. So I think just making the newer guys more aware of the angle that they're floating at. It's stuff that they probably don't even think about. Just to comprehend, hey, which way is that rod gonna go? Is it going at an angle? You want to float it at an angle, or if it's dead flat, float it dead flat. And the new guys they'll pick up on that a little bit better once you point it out. To make your tools last a lot longer is keep them clean. I've stressed this a bunch. Keep the tops clean. Some guys will have gobs of mud up here. The float weighs twice as much. You just get more fatigue. You know, your arms are gonna get wore out. You start doing it 20, 30 years. Keep the stuff nice and light and you can move better. So keep your stuff clean. That's why you got that margin trowel. Sometimes, if you got time, put some wax in the ends of these and it'll keep them from filling up with concrete. So if you do want to save your handle or replace it, or something gets broke, you can take them apart real easy, because they get gunked up. I mean, it's hard, but keep them clean, scrape them, and they'll last a lot longer. So between mag and fiber, it's not about which tool is better, it's about which one's right for the job. You might need something for this. You might have some little tedious stuff that mag works, or you got a whole bunch of concrete to float and you got to move pretty good and you need the fiber. They do have their purpose for different. It's just not, oh, I'm a fiber guy and that's all I only use. You need to be versatile. You need to have both. You just do a lot better. So between fiber and magnesium, which one is your guys' favorite? Let me know in the comments. See what you use. If you like the bigger 18-inch, the 2-foot, or just the typical 16-inch. We usually just use 16, but we got a couple guys that use the bigger ones. So let me know in the comments. Give me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next video.